Well, even during the dire days of an economic downturn, one thing continues to sell online and everywhere else: sex, and in particular pornography. A recently released report found that 1/4 of employees who use the internet also regularly visit porn sites at work. The business cost of the conduct's obvious, but there is also evidence that leads many to argue that pornography damages marriages and families. They believe it corrupts the soul. And they've decided to take the battle to Sin City itself in an effort to confront what they say is America's dirty, not-so-little secret. My co-anchor, Martin Bashir, files his second report from Las Vegas.
The Strip, Las Vegas, and men hand out flyers for nude bars and escort services. Standard fare for an evening's entertainment in Sin City. But another team is fast approaching, armed not with flyers full of sexual enticements, but pure bottled water.
Aqua? Yeah, it's sealed, I promise.
And the water bottles read, The Strip Church.
StripChurch.com. Next time you're here, we'll be up in business. Thank you.
Craig Gross, a seminary-trained evangelist, has been battling pornography for 7 years. He created an online community called XXXchurch.com, where sinners could confess what he says is their dirty little secret. It's an unconventional calling for a pastor, but he says traditional denominations are failing.
The concept of church as we know it, I don't think, I think it's far from what Jesus kind of had in mind.
First, they took their message to the church.
I want to talk about loving God and loving other people.
Then they took it to the porn stars.
We're not looking to have kids to watch porn.
They don't care if you're 58 or if you're 8 years old or if you're 18. They're sending emails like crazy. They're getting an audience.
Want water? There you go, man.
Now these modern-day crusaders are taking the battle to Sin City itself. Why have you uprooted your family, your entire organization, and moved to Las Vegas?
It makes perfect sense for who we're trying to reach, the temptations that this city has to offer, and the call that we feel that God's put on our lives to do this. Las Vegas is known as Sin City, and that's where we need to be.
Just 3 weeks ago, Craig Gross, wife Jeanette, and children Nolan and Elise relocated from Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the move of their lives.
What about the idea of bringing your children up, though, in what's known universally as Sin City?
This is probably the worst place as a parent that you could say, hey, I'm going to move there and raise my children. I don't want to go through life and just look back and go, we could have made a huge impact. And God called us to do that. And instead, we said, no, we want to play it safe. And he called somebody else to do it, and now they're doing it.
For Craig, there was no alternative but to follow where he felt he was being led.
I think the church does a poor job overall when it comes to evangelism. We get content with our members, and then we spend time satisfying and just our members, and we lose that focus of Jesus said, I came for the sick, not the healthy.
Come on, Red, come on.
The ministry, supported entirely by donations, has taken its message to porn conventions and debates around the world. Last year, Nightline was there as students at Yale University witnessed a heated exchange between Craig and experienced porn star Ron Jeremy.
Ron says, oh, this is fantasy. They don't really do this stuff. Not only degrading, but when you watch this stuff, you're going to want to go do these things. You're going to want to take this stuff offline. And a lot of times, it's going to get you to do things you never thought you would do. And a lot of times, yeah, it is commit a crime.
He is so full of crap. Your statistics are totally wrong. Does not lead to aberrant behavior. Every survey ever said that on the planet, and you're going against every... If I thought that people watching porn are going to commit sexual crimes, I would not have been in business 30 damn years.
But isn't pornography just harmless fun? And why target Las Vegas, a metropolis in the desert where people come to escape from reality?
We know what's outside your hotel room, and we believe that's going to trip you up. We believe those things aren't going to just stay here. That your marriage is more important back home, that your kids are more important, that your relationship with the Lord, if you have that, is more important. And don't buy for this cheap little, experience here.
Craig and his web designer Clint McManaman, who also moved his family to Las Vegas, are preparing materials for their formal launch in January.
So that's why we've done this, to explain to you what we're talking about is not like every other church in this town.
They recently took over the ballroom at the Venetian Hotel to lay out their vision.
Temptations in this
this town revolve a lot around pornography, a lot around sex.
They've moved 4 families to the area. Their budget will be around $1 million a year. They'll target tourists and convention visitors.
Free water?
It's free.
And they've already won over an expert in church planting.
I have been involved in working with church plants and planting of hundreds of churches over the last 30 years of my life. This project, Strip Church and XXXchurch, excites me probably unlike no other. Why? Because it's what Jesus Christ would have done, reaching people, reaching a society that a lot of us don't want to touch.
But aren't there some obvious temptations for anyone who wants to work in Las Vegas? This country has a great tradition of moral crusaders. We've had Ted Haggard.
Father, in the name of Jesus, we come against the powers of tyranny.
Eliot Spitzer, the governor of New York.
I am deeply sorry that I did not live up to what was expected of me.
But there's always a tendency for these great crusaders to end up indulging themselves. How are we to believe that you're not doing that?
I know the world is watching. I know that people at these shows are waiting for, the people at churches are waiting for me to fall, waiting for our team, now even moving here. If I go down, what did I do for the last 7 years? You know, why build something and then watch that come crashing down? Because it will. You know, and so to me, I didn't move here just to be closer to prostitutes and strip clubs. Like, to me, I can't go there.
Can you save Las Vegas?
You know, we didn't move here to be Las Vegas, but we came here to change Las Vegas. If that's one family at a time, it's worth it.
And with that, the team went back out onto the Strip.
Here we go, here comes the pornmobile.
Positioning themselves strategically next to hawkers offering flyers for prostitutes.
Starting a church on the Strip.
Starting a church on the Strip.
Everything else goes here, so why not?
But in their case, they're offering what they say is living water in a dry and dusty land.